All right, well, welcome everybody to the Launchpad Sprints info session. My name is Joseph Lanzalata, and today I'm going to be walking you through what Launchpad Sprints are, who it's for, how you can apply, what it takes to apply, and then just a few other things to give you a bit of detail. If you have any questions, you can definitely pop them into the Q&A in the chat. And if you're watching this later on Tangent TV, you can always reach out to us. We're happy to help you out. So to start off, Launchpad Sprints, you see the big banner on the front, but the first question that we always get asked about the sprint is who it is for. So who is it for? It is for early stage, anybody who's a student of Trinity College Dublin, who has an early stage startup idea or is just generally interested in getting involved in a student startup of some kind. Now, what that looks like in the application as you go through is on the application, if you are applying with an idea, what we're looking for is just some basic information. It can be any idea that you either scribbled down yesterday and want to start to develop, or something that you've been developing for a bit longer. The things we look for, number one, is the venture name. So you come up with a name for it. It doesn't have to be the name that is going to be forever, but at least a name to start you out. A brief description of the idea, and key is brief here. We don't need an entire business plan, just a basic description of what the idea is. Who your target customer is. So you need to know who your customer is, who it is that you're providing a product or service to. Who are your competitors? Who else is in this space? This can be anybody who is doing something similar, or even just the status quo is typically a competitor. So if people are doing things a certain way now, and your product will compete with the way they are doing things, that is another competitor for you. Next, we ask for the unique selling point of your product. So what makes you different? What makes you stand out? What is defensible about what it is that you're going to be doing? And then the last two is one, your revenue model. So whether you're a early stage startup or a social enterprise of sorts, you're going to need to bring in revenue in some way, shape, or form in order to keep the business afloat, in order to keep what you're working on afloat. So we just ask, what is your revenue model? It can be in a simple form as we sell widgets to people and we make a profit on that. That's how we sustain our revenue. Or it can be more complex. If you have the information about how you're going to make revenue through a subscription model or something like that, definitely tell us about it. And then finally is the team. So who is the team? Who are you working with? Why are you the great people to make it happen? But in this sense, in the early application, we really just need to know the basics of who you are and maybe what your discipline is. But it's all written in the application form. It's pretty straightforward, but this is just to give you an idea of what it is that we're looking for. On the other side, because Sprints is open to anybody with an idea or people just looking to get involved and want to learn the process of developing an early idea, we also have the individual application. For this, all we look for is your top skills and how you might support a startup or social enterprise. Essentially, this is your startup CV, we can call it, how it is that you might support an early stage business, what are the key skills that could make you valuable to a team, and often in early stage startups, just about anything you can do, including your energy and passion to work on an idea, is enough to be in some way valuable to one of the early stage startup teams. So with that, there are a few terms and conditions, if you will, for applying to the Launchpad Sprints at Tangent. Teams, number one, must consist of at least 50% Trinity College Dublin students. The reason for this is that the prizes you can win out the other end, we have individual participation is open to all students, but startups or social enterprises selected for the program, if you're a startup or a social enterprise, you'll be selected to and invited to pitch at the demo day. At the demo day, what you can win is number one, the first place prize. One team will be put straight through to the pitching round of the Launchbox applications for this year. For applying to Launchbox, Tangent Student Accelerator, you put in a written application. Teams are then selected for the pitching round. Those are the ones that get to pitch to the judges. From those, 10 teams are then selected to go into the actual summer accelerator. With this, if you win the Launchpad Sprint, you have the opportunity to be on the pitching round to get into the Launchbox program. This is why we say teams must consist of 50% Trinity students, because that's the same qualification for getting into the Launchbox over the summer. But if you would like to participate as an individual, you are always welcome. And then finally, attendance at all the workshops is mandatory. If you're part of a team, at least 50% of your members have to be at each workshop. We don't want people applying to the program not coming and developing their ideas to the extent that we would see fit to be put forward for a pitch. If you aren't able to make all of the workshops, all that means is you will not be necessarily invited to the final pitch, but you should denote that in your application. Just say which ones you're able to go to. Our expectation is that if you're applying, you'll be able to go to, or someone from your team or 50% of your team will be able to go to all of the workshops. With that, what is happening and when is it happening? Application deadline, I believe I have on the next slide, just I'll go forward and backwards. The application deadline is Wednesday, October 14th. So that's next Wednesday if you're watching this live right now. Successful applicants will then be notified via email by Friday, October 16th. So that's just 2 days later. We'll do a rapid look over the applications and decide who are the teams that are going to go through and who are the individuals that will be invited to participate in the sprint. Then the program itself consists of 4 sessions followed by a demo day pitch. Session 1 on Tuesday, October 20th from 5 to 7 is intro and goal setting. This is where we set the scene for what the sprint is going to be and help you start to set your goals for what you want to have done by the demo day, and even looking at a bit longer term planning. It's not like everything we do here is contained within the sprint. It's aspirational towards where you're going to go, but we might quantify what you can get done within the actual sprint. Then on Thursday, the 21st of October, from 5 to 7, that's session 2, where we look at your value proposition, what is the value you're providing, and customer analysis. So understanding who your customers are and how you're providing value to them. Session number 3 on Tuesday, the 27th of October, from 5 to 7 again, we have business modeling. So this is where you start to build a structure around your business and how the financials, how the business will actually operate, what are the things, the logistics that you need to accomplish to actually get your business off the ground. And then session 4 on Thursday, leading up to the demo day, the next Tuesday, is a pitching and presenting workshop. We'll give you an intro to what you're going to need to pitch and present in the first session, just so you have an idea of what you're aiming for. But this is specifically helping you tailor your pitch, practice your pitch, and get ready for the final demo day on Tuesday, the 3rd of November. Once we've gone through the program, the demo day, obviously you have a winner at the end. I mentioned already the application deadline is the 14th of October. What everybody then asks is, how do I apply? There are 2 things here that you can look at. Number 1 is the bit.ly link. You can go to bit.ly/oct2020 sprint, October 2020 sprint, or you can scan this QR code. I'll leave it on the screen for a minute as I'm leaving it here. Or if you're watching this back on Tangent TV, you can just pause and scan the QR code, and it'll bring you right to the Microsoft form. Also, if you want to find it later on, you can go to the Tangent website under supports in the Launchpad section. There's the Launchpad Sprints. You can then apply there. If you have any trouble finding the application, follow any of our social medias for Tangent. We have been posting about it. It will be posted about all over the weekend. That is how to apply. And so once you've applied, you'll hear back from us by Friday the 16th. We look forward to applications. And then also, just the last thing I'm going to note here is, how else can I get involved? Because if you're at the early stage of developing an idea, often going through a sprint is a really good active way of doing it. If you're just looking to get involved in the ecosystem and get started, we've recently just launched the Tangent ecosystem. You can go to it again at bit.ly/Tangent ecosystem, or this QR code where you can register. And as you see here, there are a number of people already within the ecosystem. You can work on your idea, you can develop your idea, you can meet people, you can look at the forums. There's a lot of stuff there, including information for you to try and learn and develop your idea, as well as network and build your teams. So this would be my other recommendation. As you're applying to sprints, it would just make sense that you get involved in the ecosystem. It's open to all Trinity students, staff, alumni. If you have an @TCD email address, this is a space for you. So we'll hope to see everybody in the ecosystem.